All right, we are live on YouTube and StreamYard, and it's also it's being both recorded and streamed live on StreamYard. Trippy, isn't it? Anyways, so maybe I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. I have another one I want to pull up here. Let's see here. Here we go. Documents. See, people have left the stream, but that's okay. All right. Present, share, window, morality. There we go. Great, now we got it. Yeah, could have done it here too. And window. Oh, there we go. All right, now you can see I have a tab up from my notepad from my laptop here. Just kind of a basic, it's a very rudimentary logical flowchart for atheism in morality. I've yet to hear an atheist be able to poke a hole in this particular line of reasoning. But hey, if you want to be the first one to try to poke a hole in this line of reasoning, you're more than free to do so, but the likelihood of you doing that is little to none. Alright, let's see if anyone's... even with a God, morality is still subjective. Care to explain your position there, Sticks? How is morality subjective with a God? And by what standard are you using to infer its subjectivity? Something to be objective, it must exist a relative. Yeah, I agree. So what makes morality subjective? The fact that my God is a thinking being is makes sense because we're made in His likeness and image. So it stands to reason that if we can think and we are made in His image, then it would stands to reason that He would also be that This is getting spicy. I'm sure you would claim that your God is a thinking being, which would make his morally subjective. Well, no, that's circular reasoning and begging the question sticks. I'll throw your question up here on the screen. His morality isn't subjective. God, so man, you guys don't know how. You guys, Sticks, you need to take a logic class, brother. His morality, no, see, the reason morality is subjective is it's a straight line that points back to God. God is the standard of morality. He's the definition of a perfect moral being. And the problem you always run into is the category errors if you're trying to equate human morality with God's morality, and God is a perfectly moral being, and you and I and everyone else on this planet is a screwed up human being with flawed morality who couldn't hold a candlestick to the morality of God. Yeah, so God exists at times outside of time and space, and God is a thinking being. If either of those two things are difficult for you to imagine or accept, yes, I'm not taking it back. God exists outside of time and space. No, I said in order for morality to be objective, the standard of morality has to exist outside of humanity. It has to exist. What I meant by inference is that the standard of morality can't be human. So I think your issue is semantical. And balance is usually lost in atheists. So I'm going to see if Flynn can join me. Hey, Flynn. Oops. One thing at a time, everybody. Let's send somebody a link. Says does not make God does not make God not. God is still a subject because according to you, God is a thinking agent. Yes, God is a thinking agent. I don't know. Name a single moral standpoint that is objective in every society. Probably isn't one, but that I don't know why that's. I don't know why this is. I don't know every society, so neither do you. So I don't know. This is just Sticks. Like your line of reasoning is so weak. It's embarrassing that you can't see it. Morality were objective, then we wouldn't have different moral views. No, we have different moral views because we have different ways of thinking about things, with different lines of reason, different backgrounds, socio-religious, socioeconomic backgrounds. That all those things affect the core of our being. Everything affects us. We're interacting with the world is interacting with us. But the fact that we often conflate what is real with what is perceived, and what is perceived with what is real. Doesn't make the standard less than objective. It means our perception of the standard is subjective. That's what you're conflating, Sticks. You're conflating perception with objective. And your perception. Okay, well then we have to be clear with the terms. Our perception of it is subjective, but the moral argument, the morals themselves are objective. For example, it is objectively evil and wrong in every single case to commit sexual assault. Now, yes, morality itself is no, it's not. But you're using that. You're saying no morality. No, morality is a subjective. But you're saying that objectively. You Sticks. Do you not realize that's a self-defeating proposition? Where else was I going with that? I lost my train of thought there for a second. I don't want to do that. So, over here. I'm gonna stop. Sticks, do you want to respond to anything that I have in my flow chart before I stop sharing the screen? Do you realize that the Bible advocates that a raped woman is required to marry a rapist? Oh man, is this really the rabbit trail you want to go down, Sticks? How's your Sticks? What is your morality? What's the standard for morality, and how do you justify your morality? That's empathy. Okay, so why should I have to abide by your standards for morality? Empathy is clearly subjective, and sometimes empathy is not even a good thing. But what you view as morally wrong, someone else may not give a damn about it and say, Sticks, you know what? I don't give a shit about your empathy. I want to beat the shit out of you. Who are you to say that I can't do that? What gives you the right to say I can't do what I want with my morality, and to hell with yours? Obviously, I'm playing devil's advocate, but just try to. What would you say to someone who said that? I'm just playing. I'm being contrary for the sake of argument, but see, you can't. Your worldview can't justify a morality. Now you can. I'm not saying that atheists can't be moral, but you have no your worldview has no justification for morality. Yeah. But what if my moral values end in the slaughter? Hypothetically, of course. What if my moral values end in the slaughter of people? Who are you to tell me that I can't kill people? You didn't justify it. You reasoned it in your mind. There's a difference between justification and giving reasons to support your claim. You're making category errors, Sticks. You're justifying it to yourself, but I'm saying you can't justify it as a standard that everyone has to follow. See if you can just a standard that you skipped a comment. Which comment did I skip? You're allowed to follow however, as a society, we collectively decided on some more values that make society better as a whole. But yeah, but that's still arbitrary. Right. Okay, but what if in some societies they thrive through conflict, war, and violence? In other societies, they thrive in justice, equity, empathy, and human understanding. So you could have two different societies that have completely contrary morality in every single way. So how would you'd be able to determine which society's rules you should follow? Like the problem with your rule of thumb for what we consider as a society to be morally acceptable is that societies are fickle and change, and that different leaders have different ideologies and moral ethos, and and of course, human beings, were as fickle as can be. So it's not really a good rule of thumb, from my perspective, to follow what society says. Some people in society say this thing is good. Some people in society, that thing sucks. This thing is good. I'm just saying it's not a good measuring stick. Right, but I'm just saying you can't take your standard of morality and slap it across the board of humanity, so to speak, and say this is the one we should go by. Or you could, but it probably wouldn't work. Sticks, you are the definition of someone who doesn't get a point. I'm not trying to tell you something you don't know. I'm trying to get you on the side of the truth, because atheism is absurdities. It's absurdities wrapped up in logical fallacies, and that you can't see that atheism is the dumbest freaking position to hold is beyond me. It's so dumb. And the reason I know you can know that atheism is dumb is you can't even argue why atheism is true. Nobody can defend atheism. It's the dumbest freaking position in the history of the planet to believe that everything this world is uncreated, this universe is uncreated. It's the dumbest position a person could possibly hold. It is a position. Oh, come on, Sticks. If atheism wasn't a position, we wouldn't have it to be. Come on, man. Don't be an idiot. If atheism wasn't a position, we wouldn't be able to have debates. Sticks. Use your head, man. Come on. Of course it's a position. That's just intellectual dishonesty on your part. What claim do you think atheists are making? Well, have you watched any debates? Like, do you really need me to explain that to you? Well, if I really have to answer that question, I've seen Matt Dillahunty make claims on macroevolution. I've seen Matt Dillahunty making claims on abiogenesis. Oh man, I've seen Matt making claims on science. I mean, if you've watched them, then you would know that obviously they are making claims. Atheism is a position, ironically. No, so man, you are fundamentally. I don't know if you're willfully ignorant or you just don't understand things. No, I'm not saying those things are not inherent. Well, abiogenesis is inherent to atheism. There's no question about that. But the other stuff is just stuff that the worldview is built upon. Naturalism is the religion of the atheist. For sure, it is. The religion of the atheist is naturalism, which is really, really sad, I think. Yeah. Very good. All right. Let's see if anyone else. Hopefully, I'm hoping someone else joins the stream. All right. First of all, evolution is a lie. It's so freaking stupid. It's monumentally stupid on the face. It's so dumb. Evolution is not a fact. It's a lie. But you'd have to believe in evolution to believe in atheism. Evolution's a fact. Facts aren't facts just because you say they're facts, Dix. I don't know if you know how this works or not, but. Oh, excuse me. First of all, it's not. All right. Since Styx doesn't want to respond to anything that I'm putting in my diagram, he just wants to argue like a typical atheist, then we'll let him, I guess. What questions do you have about evolution? Oh, I think you read the comments I left in your video yesterday. Maybe not. I've been getting a lot of comments in the last couple of days, though. So the other thing is, I don't really feel the need to respond. I mean, unlike you people, Styx, I don't feel the need to respond to everything that people say. I got better things to do my time than hang out in the YouTube comment section, either my channel or someone else's. At least I hope you have better things to do with your time than hang out in the YouTube section and the comment section of YouTube channels. All right, so with evolution, I don't want to get into that right now. I kind of want to stay on topic, which I know a lot of atheists have a hard time. So I'm going to pull up my thing on epistemology. All right. And I'm going to share screen. Window. There we go. There we go. And over here. Okay, if it's on my stream. Good. Oh, just again this one, I guess. Ad hominem et al. Atheists. Nice. All right, Snowflake, take it easy. That's the problem with atheists. You guys are too damn sensitive. You need to lighten up, man. I get people atheists throwing ad hominem attacks at me every day on this app. So learn to take it, man. Be a man. Suck it up. That's the problem with our culture today. People are too damn sensitive. No one knows how to take a little bit of ribbing anymore. My God, 5-10 years ago, you call someone asshole, call them a fucking asshole. Maybe not a fucking asshole, but usually probably, I mean, depending on who you're talking to, knowledge of the person, relationship with the person. Some people you could just call a fucking asshole and they wouldn't get it. I'm literally not sensitive. I'm throwing back at you what you replied to in the comments yesterday. It's always the sensitive people who claim that other people are sensitive. Well, I mean, everyone's got some sensitivity. I mean, we have emotions within us. No one can deny that. But for the most part, I am not that sensitive. I'm very thick-skinned. I'm usually when I let my emotions get the best of me, typically when I'm sleep deprived. But that's, I think, most people. No one's at their best when they're sleep deprived, and there's no disputing that. All right. Neither am I. So let's talk about sure. So let's talk about epistemology. Yes, let's have a respectful conversation. That's a good amiable goal. I'm on board with that. So, Sticks, explain to me. Now you can see this you can read it if you go full screen on your computer or whatever device you're using. Um, Try to, if you can, poke a hole in this thing I have on my computer for atheism and epistemology, right? So you can see it says epistemology means study of knowledge, or how do you know what you know is true? Can an atheist know that there is no God slash gods? No. Since God is immaterial or slash invisible, an atheist cannot possess, I did a little bit of typo there. An atheist cannot possess knowledge that an immaterial, invisible God being, in brackets, God does not exist. Since you can't know that doesn't exist, you can't know that God doesn't exist, you would be monstrously foolish to trust atheism provided with a logically consistent epistemologically. Since you can't trust it provided with the credible or logical epistemology, you shouldn't trust it for anything and everything. That's the proposition. Um, hmm. Let's see if this works here. All right. You cannot know definitively that a God. Oh, this is a good question. Inference and induction. And you cannot know definitively that a God exists. Since you cannot go that a God exists, you can't be. Man, do you have any thoughts of your own, or are you just trying to parrot me? Like, try to use the point of having a respectful conversation, Sticks, is like still. Nah, Poco, no. Yeah, but I can know that God exists, but I can't know that He doesn't exist. It's as odd as that sounds. So we can know that God does exist. No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying that the reason that we can know that God exists is because knowledge exists. In order for knowledge to exist, an all-knowing mind must exist. And for an all-knowing mind must exist, then ergo God exists. Knowledge exists, therefore God exists. But I can't know that God doesn't exist. I can't know that God doesn't exist because knowledge exists, therefore atheism doesn't work. I can know that God exists because knowledge exists. And to be so and there has for knowledge to exist there must be an all-knowing mind, ergo God exists. I know this philosophical stuff usually gets you guys lost in the weeds, but it's actually true. We must know an all-knowing mind exists in order to know for knowledge. No, it's the other way around. We know knowledge exists because we know that knowledge exists. We know that an all-knowing mind that knows all exists. you you're you're not the one who did a leap in logic, but you did. Wow. How do you know that? Well, I mean, at some base point, epistemology can't has to be inferred and induced because every epistemology is circular by default, which doesn't mean necessarily that the epistemology is fallacious. But on the face of it, every epistemology is circular. So what we know for fact, um, we can only infer so far, right? How we know that an all-knowing mind must exist simply because knowledge exists. Well, I mean, think about it this way. For knowledge to exist, there has to be a corpus of knowledge, a collection of knowledge. That knowledge has to exist somewhere in its entirety. And in order for that to be true, God has to exist. There has to be an all-knowing mind. How do you know that an all-knowing mind must exist simply because knowledge exists? It's called they call it induction, an inference. I'm inferring that an all-knowing mind exists because knowledge does exist, and that there has to be someone who knows all in order for it to be sensible. Like, for example, like here's a good way of putting it, Sticks. Think about the collective knowledge of the human race, but nobody on the planet knows everything. But everybody on the planet together knows a hell of a lot of things, obviously. And there has to be, see, it's like morality. It's always a straight line pointing back to God. Same thing with knowledge. In order that all knowledge, I'm not talking about all knowledge, but all knowledge, everything that we all know on a personal level is known by God. Well, like I said, at some point it comes down to a matter of induction. We can only go so far with induction and inference, and logic and reason, and so on and so forth. At some point, you're just going to have to, you know, you're going to have to you're going to have to make a claim on it. So we can't live our lives, at least not in a substantiated way, with I don't know today if there is a God. I don't know tomorrow if there is a God. Like, human beings thrive on trust. At some point we have to put our trust in what we know, and to be able to hang our hat on it, so to speak, and say, okay, you know what? There's only so much we can prove. There is an element. Every single worldview does have elements of faith, things that we just trust that we cannot prove. Knowledge owes its genesis to our mind and senses making contact with the external world. Oh man, that's so circular. It's painful. This is painful, man. Painful. It's something. Things are infectious because you think they these guys. That's the problem with you atheists, is you think that you say something that's clever or intellectual, and that's because it's clever or intellectual, therefore it must be true. But that's not how truth works. The circle is the mind basically and is what's the word? The mind justifies itself by being a genesis to itself. It's so dumb. You can't use your mind as the reference for knowledge. Your mind has knowledge external with it from external sources. Unless I'm just simply reading this wrong, which I may be because I'm stupidly tired. But this is just bad. We know things. Man. Well, maybe you'll see it eventually. I think I'm going to sign off for a bit, friends. That's not circular. The mind having knowledge does not mean that pointing at the mind as original knowledge. Okay, well, like I said, I may have mistaken it. I did see that as a possibility, and again, I'm stupidly tired of. I need to get more rest, take better care of my mental health and physical health. But yeah, it's been a slice. I am gonna sign off. I gotta get ready. I got karate in just over an hour. You couldn't gain knowledge without the use of your mind and your senses. Yes, okay, that's true. But here's a question for you. This is the last question I'm gonna ask before I sign off and end the stream. What is the source of knowledge? What epistemology do we have for knowledge? Where does knowledge come from, if not God? Because knowledge can't be. Human beings can't be the originators of knowledge. We can't be the originator of knowledge, and we can't be the arbitrators of knowledge. we know things, but we can't. Knowledge can't exist in the human mind independent of a source outside the human mind. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. All right, I'm gonna end this 6 o'clock my time. I'm gonna end the stream, which is between 0 and 60 seconds. I'm gonna end the stream. Yo, Landon. Sorry, I had a couple of apps open. I'm seeing you now, buddy. Sorry. I had StreamYard open mostly. Yeah, sure. DME. All right. Well, I hope Landon Matachos. All right. I'm going to end the stream here and StreamYard. And recording. All right. Yeah, sorry, Landon. Seeing you now. I don't know if you're still. Oh, you're not. You're gone. All right. Maybe I'll try to find it. All right, so the stream.